This woman is a former aide to New York Governors Andrew Cuomo and Kathy Hochul, and she just got arrested by the federales for being a Chinese spy. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Linda Sun, a former aide of New York Governors Andrew Cuomo and Kathy Hochul, who has just been arrested by the federales for being a Chinese spy. There's quite a few charges here up under the Chinese spy label. You're talking about visa fraud, alien smuggling, money laundering, all types of stuff. Now, I'm not going to say that the Chinese spy thing has become an epidemic in the United States, but I will say that it has become a lot more popular as of late. It's become a lot more prominent. It's not really a thing that's too surprising. I mean, we saw those two guys in the military that were straight up Chinese spies. Then we saw the whole thing with Eric Swalwell over in California. You know, the whole yum kerfuffle.
Alleged affairs, relationships with
no,
Yum
sir.
Yum.
You don't get to say that. That's not true.
He had alleged relationships with Yum Yum.
Now, you would think that there is so much of this going on. There's a lot of these stories in the news that people will be a lot more vigilant with who they allow into their cabinet, with who they allow anywhere near them. You would think that'd be the case, but obviously that's not really going on. And if it is going on, that I can't tell, because every other day, oh, a Chinese spy there, a Chinese spy here. What's really going on? Now, before I go any further into it, let's get to a news clip right quick. And of course, I will link to this clip and everything else talking about right now in this video in the description box. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Well, the former aide to Governor Hochul and Andrew Cuomo has been arrested and now faces federal charges of acting as an agent for the Chinese government.
All right, Linda Sun and her husband were taken into custody at their Long Island home this morning, and both went before a judge this afternoon. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt's here to break down exactly what they're accused of. Linda.
Yeah, and as you both just said, she didn't just work for one New York governor, she worked for two. And what did she get out of it? Well, prosecutors say a nearly $4 million home on Long Island and a $2 million condo in Hawaii.
Let's pause for a minute. So you are an aide to a governor and you're able to become a real estate mogul, or a beginner, a baby real estate mogul. What's going on with this?
Linda Sun and her husband, Chris Hugh, after they both pleaded not guilty in Brooklyn federal court. But prosecutors say Sun acted as an illegal agent for the Chinese government to advance the communist agenda. And she did it while she worked as Governor Hochul's deputy chief of staff. Sun also worked for former Governor Andrew Cuomo. Governor Hochul expressing her outrage on WNYC radio.
There was a betrayal of trust, the trust of government, the trust of the people. And I'll tell you this, the second we discovered some levels of misconduct, we fired her. We alerted the authorities, and hence we ended up with what happened here today.
Sun's husband is charged with money laundering and bank fraud. Federal prosecutors say the couple sold their positions to the Chinese government and used the money to buy a nearly $4 million home in Nassau County, a $2 million condo in Hawaii, and a 2024 Ferrari.
A Ferrari, okay, living big, huh? Big balling. Not only are we going to get real estate in Hawaii and New York, we're also going to go out and buy a Ferrari. That's not going to alert the authorities. You get these two Chinese nationals working for local government who are able to spend all this big money. No red flags there. No misconduct allegations or anything like that there. That's crazy.
The FBI raided the couple's home in Manhasset back in July. Sun is accused of forging Governor Cuomo's signature and blocking the government of Taiwan from having access to the governor's office.
So this has been going on for a while, because you were accused of forging Cuomo's signature. This is before the current administration and Kathy Hochul. And wasn't Cuomo ousted for some misconduct allegations, assault, and things like this? I'm not saying he did it. I'm just saying there's a lot of problems going on. You got the former governor getting robbed by these people, and then he had his own problems, and then they continue their crime under another governor who may have her own problems with the migrant crisis and whatnot. Didn't you see that story that says 75% of all the arrests in Midtown Manhattan come from migrants, but that's a different story, and I digress.
Sun and Hugh did not speak to reporters following their court appearance.
A lot of the allegations in this indictment are frankly perplexing, overly inflammatory. As you heard in court today, we're looking forward to our day in court. The defendants are exercising their right to a speedy trial as soon as they can. We have a lot of confidence in Chris and in Linda.
We think that these charges are disappointing, that they are the product of an overly aggressive investigation.
And federal prosecutors also say another perk that the couple got from the Chinese government, a special type of salted ducks that were prepared by the personal chef of a Chinese government official, and then they were delivered to Sun's parents' home right here in New York. Natasha?
Wow, wow, wow. Now, I'll tell you what, that salted duck hits like none other. I tell you what. So I guess maybe, you know, a federal prison sentence was worth getting some of that salted duck. Maybe I'm not that head over heels about the food, but I do understand. Hey, I'm not going to say that I would do such a thing to get salted duck, but I do understand. But like I said from the beginning, they have to do something here. There's got to be some kind of process to vet these people. Chinese national, sending money back home, signature forgery, things of this nature. You really got to vet who you bring on to your team, because these people obviously from the jump were not going to do the right thing. And I got to add one last piece as I close. One last piece here. If this was captured in New York, my question is, how many of these people operate all over the country? We saw Eric Swalwell in California. I think the spy got to him when he was in college, or when he was like real young. I'm not exactly sure when the spy got to him, but they identify you early. They see you up and coming, you're rising, you might be kind of weak, might be kind of soft, super liberal or whatever. They'll target you that way. And then that'll be how they go about getting what they want. They go get their salted duck. They go get their Ferrari. They go get the real estate. They do whatever they want to do. That's kind of how it's working here. And it's really crazy. But like I said, do some vetting. Maybe that'll help. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What would your solution to this issue of the Chinese spies be? No Chinese nationals anywhere near the government at all? Be a little bit on high alert. If somebody says that they're from China, they got an accent, and then they want to be involved in local politics, you got to ask why. What's really going on? Is that a racist thing to do? No, I mean, it's not even about race. It's about where you're from. Are you an American citizen? Do you have any loyalties to any other countries? That should be the main thing. You could be an Asian person, but you're born and raised in America. You love America. You're a patriot. Are you going to go rat to the Chinese Communist Party? But if you just got here yesterday and you've been born and raised in China and you all about all the things they got going on over there, and you appreciate that type of life, and you're communicating with the Chinese Communist Party, just like Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, if that's you, maybe you shouldn't be in the role of politics. And that goes back to my point as I close for real this time. It's not even about race, because Tim Walz is white as snow, but obviously he has the risk of being a Chinese asset the same way that these Chinese nationals were. It's the same thing, because where do your loyalties lie? Which government do you sympathize with the most? What government do you hate? A lot of these people do not like America. They hate America, and they want to do everything in their power to support a foreign nation. They should not be anywhere near our government. It's pretty simple, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.